But yes, I literally felt like nobody else would want me because I'm fat. Like, I'm not gonna be able to get another relationship. No other man is gonna look at me. I mean, he's not beating on me or hitting me or nothing. So we can make it work. It'll be all right. Like, you're not gonna find anything better than this because you're fat. Who else is gonna want you? Hey beauties, it's Nita, and today we are going to be doing a story time with Nita video. And today I'm going to be sharing a quick little story about how I, allowed this man to treat me like ish. I don't know if this is going to be a new series or what, but I did feel led to share my story with you guys. So here we are, just being obedient, and let's get into it. All right, so my first real relationship outside of high school was like when I was in college. I was 18 years old and I got with this guy. Like I said, my first real adult relationship. And yeah, we were, like I said, 18, 19 years old, and we were together, I think like 2 years or so. And yeah, so when we started off, of course, things were good, things were great, all of that. But in true, I feel like young people fashion or whatever, I'm not gonna say true young people fashion because everybody doesn't go through this, but he started messing with other girls, talking to other girls, and all of the things. And so girls would, nobody actually called my phone, but they would call. At the time I had a house phone. Okay, so let's backtrack. So 18, 19 years old, we were in college. When we met, we both were in college, and we were both in Texas, but different parts of Texas. So that was when we first started dating. It was my freshman year of college, but second semester. So we dated through the summer, and then second semester I got an apartment off campus, and then he did not go back to college. So he would drive to where I was, and then eventually he ended up moving in to where I was because I wasn't really close to Dallas. I was like maybe an hour outside of Dallas or so, and you know how it is. They start leaving a little something, then leaving a little something else, and then all of a sudden they end up staying with you. So yeah, we ended up staying together, and at the time I did have a house phone. Now mind you, this was 2007, so I think maybe having house phones was still normal, not exactly sure, but yes, I had a house phone. So we ended up, like I said, living together, and he would be there while I was at school. He did have it, he did go to work, and then at that time I also would work, and I did hair. I was braiding hair at the time, just like out of the house. I wasn't a professional hairstylist. So yeah, just to give a little bit of a backstory. So one particular day, I'm at the house and somebody called the house phone. Now, although I had a house phone, I still don't feel like I talked on it that much. So, yeah, so typically if people was calling the house phone, it was like my parents, or sometimes it was a client, but that was really it. It wasn't really ringing like that. So I'm really trying to figure out why I even had the house phone. But anyway, so this particular day, a girl called the phone, and so I answered the phone like, hello, and then click, somebody hangs up. I'm like, okay. So it's happened a few more times, like back to back, and I'm like, who is this calling my phone? Because so the first time, no, I take that back. I think the first time it was a trigger because they called from a star 69. Now I don't know how old you guys are, but if y'all remember star 69 when you call somebody's phone so your number don't pop up, it was that kind of situation. So the first time, let me cut this off. So the first time it happened, I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, I just answered the phone. I didn't even think I looked at the call ID. I was just like, hello, and then he hung up, and I'm like, okay. So the second time it happened, I'm like, wait a minute, who is this calling me from a star 69 and just hanging up the phone? Somebody playing on my phone. I'm like, so of course, somebody playing on your phone, you like, oh, okay, this nigga, who he got calling my phone? So I called him on some, what's going on? Somebody's calling, playing on his phone, and I mean, we just already know what's up. I don't know who that is. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, oh, okay. All right then, it's nothing. I don't know who that is. You ain't been calling no girls from my phone. I ain't been calling nobody from your phone. Okay. Let it go, So I feel like this was all in the same week. Mind you, like I said, I was probably 19 years old and I'm 33 now. So this is a while ago, maybe a little vague. But whatever the case may be, the person kept playing on the phone. And so eventually what happened was either I was gone or something. And when I finally did come home, I went through the phone, and you can kind of go back and see who had been called from the phone. And I saw the numbers he had been calling while I was gone. And I called the numbers back. So eventually I did get a young lady. She answered the phone. I said, hello, who is this? And they were just like, huh? Or whatever, and they hung up the phone. So I'm like, oh, okay, so you have been calling females on my phone. Because, nobody ever said anything, but just the fact that I'm calling your phone and you tell me, hello, do you hang up the phone? We already know what's going on here. Because why you knew what number was calling because you answered. Anyway, so we just had, at first it just started being little situations like that where somebody's calling the phone. Another situation happened where at the time I didn't like, my house phone was off and my cell phone was off. I didn't have any money to pay the bill, and I think we both was waiting to get paid. So whatever the case may be, he left me with his cell phone and he went to work, and I ended up going to Dallas later, and he was like, when you get to Dallas, just bring my phone back. And you, because I think when I was going to Dallas, I was gonna pay my phone bill for me because I had Metro PCS. I don't know if y'all know about Metro. Y'all know about Metro. So, you know, at the time, I feel like Metro, you can only pay in cash. It was something going on where it was like, I didn't have a phone, so he left his cell phone with me and was like, all right, when you come to Dallas, just bring me the phone when your mama pay your phone bill. I just don't want you to be without a phone in case you need to reach me or whatever. And he was going to work. So if I needed him, I could just call his job and, you know, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So he left me the phone. And when I tell y'all, let's say he got off at 4 o'clock. When he got off, that phone was ringing, and it was one number, and the number kept calling. Now, I will say, when he left me the phone, he was like, don't answer it, just call if you need to. And I was just like, all right. And I'm just like, what you mean don't answer the phone? But, you know, I'm just like, okay, you know, it is your phone, it's your business, whatever. Maybe you don't want your boys knowing I got your phone, whatever, no big deal. So like I said, I'm gonna say he got off at 4 o'clock. When I tell you at 4:01, that phone was ringing. This same number was calling back to, I mean, that phone was ringing. And silly me, I never answered the phone. I was just like, you know what? I know what it is. Like, I just knew what it was. So I was just still like, you know what? I don't want to deal with it. Maybe I don't want confrontation. I don't know, but I was just like, you know what? So when I got to Dallas and I pulled up, I threw that phone. I think the phone broke. I don't know. I threw that phone to him and I pulled off. I was just so pissed. He's like, what happened? What happened? You know what's going on. Like, why? Who is this calling you from the time you got off and they blowing up your phone like this? Like, who is this? Couldn't be your girlfriend. Like, we are in a whole relationship. Like, it's known we had been together for a while at this time. So it's not like we was in a situationship or anything like that. No, we are in a relationship. So who is this calling your phone like that? And mind you, at this time we had already been through little instances of people playing on the phone and, you know, just little stuff, right? But this was like, you know, just one of the bigger instances that I can remember. So another situation, y'all, anyway, so another situation. Again, at the time, I'm a struggling college student. So I forget exactly what happened to trigger me. And that's another thing. Women's intuition, we always know when something ain't right. We just don't listen. We don't listen, or I'm not even gonna say I didn't listen. I just put myself on blast. So there was a situation where I just felt like, and like I said, I don't remember what led up to this, but it was something. I just said something ain't right. It's something going on and I'm going to figure it out. Y'all, so I went to UTA, University of Texas at Arlington, right? I stayed off campus at the time, and I stayed about 15 minutes from campus. It's dark, it's late, and I think it was raining. Just to set the picture. Instances have been happening, but I never had anything concrete. And you know how sometimes men trying to make you feel like you just being crazy or you just whatever, blah, blah, blah. So like I said, situations with little things would be happening, but I never had like concrete proof of what was going on. So like I said, this night I could not go to sleep. It was just on me heavy. Like, I got to get to the bottom of what is going on. Something ain't right. I don't know what it is, but I know it's something. Intuition. So I got my butt up. Like I said, it's late, it's raining. I got up, and at the time, again, struggling college student, I did not have internet in my house at the time. My internet was cut off for some reason. And I was like, I'm finna go to the school library, use the computer. Because, you know, the campus library was open 24/7. So we could go use the computers, you know, if you up studying later, whatever. So I got up in the rain, put on my little whatever, went to the college campus to go to the computer lab and get on the computer and break into this dude's MySpace. Yes, I did. I figured out the login. I got on in there and I saw the messages between him and this young lady. I think it was a few, but this one in particular is the one that stood out. It was like constant, like, oh, you know, he telling her he cute and da-da-da. She's like, I thought you had a girlfriend. I mean, I do, but this. And I'm just like, really? So, of course, I confront him about it and kind of find out this particular girl was his sister's best friend or something. It was like, it was a friend of his sister's. They was best friend. They was close friends. Like, I don't think I had ever seen the girl, but I knew of her just because that was the sister's friend. So I'm like, what? So, you know, I was so pissed. I was so hurt. Of course, I call him. I go off. He talked and weaseled his little way out of it. And, you know, you know, it was just conversation. It was nothing. She been wanting to get with me and da da da. It was this whole ordeal of some BS. And I was just like, okay, you know, for some strange reason. So this little situation of back and forth, you talking to a girl, I found out, you cry your crocodile tears or whatever, and I forgive you, went on for, we was together for 2 years, probably a year and a half of the 2 years. Like I said, there was, I remember specifically there was an incident where I found out some stuff and he came over, and I will never forget, I was in the bed and he came in the room where I was at and sat on the side of the bed, and he was like, you know, I want you to forgive me, but if you have to do the same thing to me, then don't worry about it. Like, he didn't say that specifically, but it was pretty much like, I want you to forgive me, I want to work it out, but if you have to, pretty much if you feel like you have to get revenge on me and do me the same way, then don't worry about it. That should have been my red flag then, but then again, y'all, I just was like, okay, I love him. That was like my first love, my first real relationship outside of high school, and I just loved him so much and all of the things. But then after that particular incident and that time that he told me that, I was just like, really, my nigga, the audacity of you? But, and at that point, I just knew I needed to leave, because you keep cheating on me, you keep treating me like ish, you know, you keep, it's girls calling my phone and all kind of just BS, you know, and foolery. And I'm just like, why am I putting up with this? And I was crying, I was heartbroken, I was frustrated, and I will never forget, it's probably the Holy Spirit told me to leave, you know, like, you don't need to be, no, it wasn't probably, it was the Holy Spirit. God was like, you know, you need to leave him, this is not a good relationship for you. I kind of knew starting out it probably wasn't a good situation, but I really liked him. He was so sweet, he was so nice, and I was just like, you know, like, I mean, why not? He's sweet, he's nice, he's good to me. In the beginning he was, and then, you know, things changed. And I'll never forget, like I said, God was like, you don't need to be with him, you need to leave. And I was just like, but who else is gonna want me? I'm fat. And it pains me to even say that out loud and to admit that I felt that way, because it's just like, but yes, I literally felt like nobody else would want me because I'm fat. Like, I'm not gonna be able to get another relationship, no other man is gonna look at me. I mean, he's not beating on me or hitting me or nothing, so you know, we can make it work, it'll be all right. Like, you're not gonna find anything better than this because you're fat. Who else is gonna want you? It's literally how I felt, and that's pretty much what I told God. Like, I gotta make this situation work, because, all right, memory card got full, so I had to pause, delete the memory card, and come back. But yes, so I really was rationalizing with God, and just being like, you know, I know you're telling me to leave, I know you're telling me this is not for me, but nobody's gonna want me because I'm fat. Like, you know, like I said, yes, he's talking to other girls and all this kind of stuff, but, you know, like I said, he's not beating on me, he's not abusive, you know, he's not, you know, you rationalize like it's not that bad, you can figure out, you can make it work. And it got to a point where I pretty much, like I said, we just kept going through this same cycle of me finding out you talking to this girl, you been with this girl, you was over here, you was over there doing, you know, stuff you weren't supposed to be doing. And, you know, like I said, just got to a point where I pretty much just told God that, like, I wasn't leaving because I gotta make this work, because I felt that low about myself. And it got to a point where he left me for another girl, and it crushed me, y'all. It crushed me, it hurt my little heart. If you knew me then, all the people that I work with, my co-workers, and of course my friends, I mean, it devastated me, y'all. Like, I really felt like I would never bounce back from that. First of all, you know, your first heartbreak is just hard. You know, it hurts, and you just feel like, oh my God, I'll never breathe again, and all this foolery. But anyway, yeah, he ended up leaving me for another girl, and I just, like I said, I was hurt, I was crushed, and eventually, you know, it just got to a point where God was just like, I mean, I told you to leave and you don't want to leave, so I had to have him leave you, because I needed him out of your life for a purpose. And when I tell y'all, my life completely changed, like, after we were together. Shortly after that, I made the decision to go to beauty school, which at the time I was in school for accounting, and I didn't like it, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And Anyway, I made the switch and went to get my cosmetology license and just went on to live life, and things really did get better eventually over time. Like I said, I was crushed and heartbroken. I feel like it took me a good like 2 years to get like fully completely over it, because it just really devastated me and crushed me. But it wasn't until looking back, that was the best thing. That heartbreak was the best thing that ever happened to me. It really was. And even he was like, man, it just seemed like I left you and you just went on to, yeah, like, yeah, my nigga. Like, but no, it was the best thing. That heartbreak was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm just so glad that God loved me enough to have him leave, because I wasn't leaving. I was literally like, no, I'll never find anybody else. And just I teared up when I said that, because I just can't believe that I thought so low of myself to just accept anything from somebody that's continually showing me that this is how you think of me, this is how you're treating me. And like I said, this is not a 1, 2, 3 time deal. This is just what you do. You just out here for everybody. And it'll be different, I guess, if he was maybe behind my back or if I didn't know. But I'm constantly seeing, like I said, this is showing up, girls calling my phone and all this stuff. Like I'm getting up, going to break into your thing. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. And like I said, just the fact that I thought low enough about myself to just accept any old thing from a man was just so ridiculous. And I just thank God that I'm past that point in my life. And so like I said, I'm sharing this video because I felt led to share, and I just want you guys to know, any woman out there who is struggling with your self-esteem, whether my thing is weight. It doesn't have to be weight. It could be your skin complexion, it could be your hair, it could be you too tall, you too short, you too skinny. Whatever your thing is where you don't like yourself, or maybe you feel like ain't nobody else gonna want me, so I gotta put up with this or accept this. No, you don't. Okay, you do not have to do that. You do not have to accept that. You do not have to put up with anything. You are loved. You are beautiful as you are today. Okay, and there is somebody else that will love you. But before anybody else can love you, it starts with you loving yourself. You have to love yourself enough to say, I'm not putting up with no anything. I'm not going to accept anything because I feel a way about myself. Ooh. I don't know why I'm crying about this part, but it really, really just means so much to me for you guys to know. And I say you guys, anybody that is struggling with your self-esteem, because I've been there. You know, I've been there. I get it. I felt that way. I was that girl. And I still have my insecurities about things, but never to a point like that ever again. That just taught me that you teach people how to treat you. People know what they can get away with you or not, you know, especially when it comes to relationships and when it comes to men. You teach people how to treat you, and it's up to you and what you're allowing. Can't nobody do what you don't allow them to do. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, like I said, this was a continuous pattern of him showing me, this is how you think of me, because this is how you're treating me, and I'm allowing it. I can't change what you do, but I can change what I accept. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean, you know, people are talking about, oh, you gotta forgive and all that. Even when you forgive somebody, that does not mean that they should have the same place in your life. I can forgive you and love you from over there. I forgive him. I don't have no hard feelings. I mean, I'm to a point where I can see him walking down the street. I speak, hey, how you doing? How your mom and them? And we can go on. I don't have nothing. At one point, I could see that man. He could have been on fire, and I would have looked at him. Somebody need to save him. Like, at one point, I felt that way, but now I'm not tripping. And even when it comes to forgiveness, I had to learn about that. But anyway, I'm saying all that to say, if you feel like that, if you know, have ever, or if you are in a situation, or you feel like you have to put up with something, or, you know, a person is treating you away, and specifically, this is about relationships. I just feel like this is for if you're in a relationship or you're with somebody and you feel like, you know, they're treating you like ish, or they're not treating you the best, and you're rationalizing why you should be there or why you should continue to allow them to treat you that way, and you know, nobody else is going to want you, nobody else is going to love you. Like I said, first things first, you got to start with loving yourself enough that you're not going to let somebody walk over you. You're not going to let somebody treat you like crap. You know, you deserve the best. You deserve for somebody to treat you like the queen that you are, period. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how dark, light, fat, skinny, freckles, short hair, long hair, nappy hair, straight, whatever. It doesn't matter. You deserve to be treated like the queen that you are, the beautiful woman that you are. If nobody has told you, I'm telling you today, you are beautiful just as you are today. Now, if you want to change something, change it. But even in that process, you have to love yourself enough in the position that you are today, the way that you look today, to know you're not finna come treat me any kind of way, period. I deserve to be treated like the queen that I am, period. And if you can't do that, then you can go ahead and exit stage left. Bye. Because I love me enough that I'm not going to let you come treat me any kind of way. But it starts with you loving and valuing yourself enough to put your boundaries up and say, no, you're not going to do this to me. You're not going to treat me like this. And what that situation did teach me was I had, you know, the reason that I was in that situation, I can't change him and how he treated me and how he valued me, but I can change me. It taught me that in my relationships, I can't go into something allowing people to treat me any kind of way. I can't allow you to bring anything to me. Because if I don't tell you nothing else when it comes to men in relationships, they'll do what you allow them to do. They know who they can play with. They know who they can play with. Men are not stupid. They're not dumb. They're not retarded. They are a little special. But they know who they can play with. And they playing with you and they treating you that way because you're allowing them to. Like I said, you can't change other people's behavior. You can't control what they do, but you can control what you accept and allow. And I just don't want nobody. I know there was a double negative. I don't want nobody to ever feel like you have to put up with anything from a man. You have to accept anything from a man because nobody else is going to want you or nobody else is going to treat you better. Sis, that's a lie. Now, I'm not married and I'm single today, but I have been in much, much better relationships. I have gotten treated like the queen that I am by different men because I knew, like I said, from that situation, I learned, you know, like I said, that I have to love myself enough that you can't bring me no anything and you can't treat me no any kind of way. I'm not going to accept whatever from you because of whatever. Because I'm fat, skinny, short. It doesn't matter. I'm a queen, period. That's why you're over here. That's why you like me. So treat me the way I deserve to be treated. Or like I said, you can exit stage left, okay? So I just want you guys to know that. I know I went on a whole rant. But I hope this was helpful to somebody. Like I said, I just felt led to share this story. God is going to do with it what he will. But thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below and let me know if this was helpful for you guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.